Hey there, we've been getting a lot of questions about why we recommend to have a power cell with our larger wattage amplifiers. Now this is our Asylum CFA 1600.1. Now you can't always trust the specs that come with the manufacturer. That's why we have a white sheet on here that actually shows the wattage. This one here was tested at 1640 watts of actual output at 1 ohm. Now that's a lot of power. And to produce a lot of power, you need a lot of juice coming in. And that's coming from your car's electrical system. Now, the reason we really like these power cells is the average alternator, we'll say, put out 90 amps of current. Yeah, you might even have a bigger one, go up to about 120. That's a good amount of current, but a good rule of thumb, this is not exact science, but it's a good rule of thumb that for 10 amps of current, you can put out about 100 watts. So if we're to do that math, a 1600 watt amp right here is going to need about 160 amps of current. If your alternator is only putting out 90 amps, if my math's right, that's 70 amps short. That also doesn't even include that your car needed some power in the first place. That's why it has an alternator and battery. So they may have put a little bit bigger one than they need, but not much. And then you're adding this big draw of electrical power. So what these gel cells do is they provide a buffer between the car's electrical system and your audio system, your aftermarket audio. Now, it's hard to say exactly how big of a gel cell you'd need because it depends on how big the amplifier is, how efficient it is, but also some things we don't know in advance. How hard you're going to turn it up, how good your factory battery is, how good your alternator still is. So there's some unknowns there, but what we do know for sure is that anything over about 700, 800, 1,000 watts, you should probably buy one of these gel cells. If you don't have one right away, you should definitely pick one up at some point. They provide so much additional juice so that your product can function the way it's supposed to. We'll give you a good hint to know if you really, like emergency need one of these gel cells, if your headlights are dimming. I see it all the time, people's headlights are dimming. That means your car doesn't have enough electricity to operate properly. Now, that means your car computers don't have enough electricity. Obviously your headlights is what's showing it to you, but you're gonna have this large variety of electrical components, including your amplifier, which is not gonna have enough juice to operate properly. Now, the problem is when your amp doesn't have enough juice to operate properly, it doesn't always shut down. Sometimes it keeps providing what I would call a dirty signal, which kills your woofers. And your woofers blow up, you think that you don't have good woofers. What it is you don't have enough electricity to power your stereo system. So we always recommend any bigger amplifier. This isn't really that expensive. This gel cell battery, which provides a tremendous amount of benefit to the system, is about $100. So not bad at all. We're showing it here with our Asylum case, which is pretty cool. This way you can mount your battery down. All you have to do is go from the batteries terminal to here. I do recommend using fuses between, because anytime you're connecting power to something, it's good to have it fused. This you can go right to the ground. So it's really straightforward, power to the power here, ground to the ground on your car. Very simple install. The toughest part sometimes is mounting it down. That's why we have these nice cases. You can, there's holes in the bottom of this. You can actually just mount it down quick and easy. One of the great things about our Asylum amplifiers, now everything I just said doesn't apply to only our Asylum amplifiers. It applies to any big amplifier that draws a lot of current. Now, one of the things we do so that you know how much current you're drawing, our bass knob has a voltage meter right on there. Now, your average car should be putting out high 13s in the voltage, so 13.8 is what we actually test them at. So now if you see this dropping down 12, 11, 10, it should turn off hopefully by 9, but that is meaning you're not taking good care of your car, you're not taking good care of your stereo gear, you need more voltage. So we believe it's so important. We want you to know where you're sitting, but we're also giving you the tools to prevent, the problem in advance until you see your product shutting off. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. It is definitely something you should consider on any big stereo you're doing. See a professional as always. We'll talk to you later.